Hello, welcome to the Joy of Numerology. These are your 2016 predictions for all signs and all numbers. To find your attitude number, simply add your day and month of birth. For example, if you're born December 10th, add 1 plus 2 for December, plus 1 plus 0, which would give you 4. And always just reduce until you hit one number. So another example would be December 30th. So 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6, plus 0, still 6. Okay, and then we're going to add the world number, and that is 2016. So 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 6 equals 9. And anything you add to 9 is always going to reduce back to the original number. So if that's hard to follow, you can check out my video on how to how to find your attitude number. I'm here in Oahu on the North Shore. My next video might have snow in it, so I wanted to take advantage of this beautiful scenery. So please enjoy. Let's get started. 2016 is a 9 year, and 9 is the number of the humanitarian. And so I think we're going to have lots of opportunity to show our love for other humans. And with all the refugee stuff that's going on right now, there's going to be lots of opportunity, lots of things to take advantage of in that way, and just be a good person, be a kind human. So the other thing 9 year encourages is really letting go. There's things that we'll see happen in this world that really just need to be removed from what we're doing in our daily life. So that needs to go as well. A lot of times there's relationships that fall apart. What I always tell clients is that in a 9 year, if you're urged by the universe to let go of something, you feel something slipping away, release it with dignity, save your grace, and be sure that you let it go. Thank whatever the situation or people are for the lessons and for the experience, and move on. Otherwise, you can dig your nails in and bloody knuckle it right to the end. It's still gonna go. The universe will take it away, and it will no longer be on your terms. Okay? So if you have a 1 attitude number, you're gonna be in a 1 year. So your 1 personal year is all about beginnings. You may feel like you've been on a bit of a treadmill for the last little while. It's okay. Things are gonna start to move. So in a 1 year, you want to be super diligent about setting your goals, making sure that your dreams are clear and the universe really knows what you want out of your next 9 year cycle. So make sure you do that. Lots of things begin in a 1 year. It's a good time to start a relationship. They usually have staying power. It's a good time to begin a business. Anything you want to start, now is the time. If you're in a 2 personal year, it's all about relationships. Everything that happens in a 2 year revolves around possibly your significant other. It may have something to do with your closest relationships. A lot of times in a 2 year, people will meet their soulmate. Think of it as 2 ones coming together to make a perfect pair. A lot of times though, something's also taken away. A lot of people lose a parent or someone close to them. They have a relationship fall apart. So if you're single and you want to meet someone, pay special attention. You've got to get out there. If you're trying to get pregnant, if you're interested in fertility, 2 years is an excellent time. Again, it's like adding 1. So it's about increasing your family. But relationships will be front and center, so it's really important that you make sure you nurture them, take care of them, pay attention. If you're in a 3 year, it's all about expansion. It's all those ideas and seeds you planted in your 1 year and started to nurture and take care of in your 2 year. It's all about making them bigger. So make sure you're taking care to sort of grow your business, grow your relationships. It's also a good time also if you're looking at fertility, grow, expand, maybe your family gets bigger. A lot of people gain weight in their 3-year. Be careful, it's that expansion. If you don't want to gain weight, pay attention. A lot of times it'll melt off in your 4-year, but who needs to go through that? It can be a very emotional year as well. So keep your emotions in check. Having a really solid creative outlet is always a good way to make sure that that's not an issue for you. When energy is there and it wants you to create, it needs somewhere to go. It doesn't just disappear because it wasn't used. So even if you get a coloring book, dance every day, sing in your car, as long as that creative outlet gets out, you'll have much better control over your emotions. Okay? It's also very lucky. If you think of how a 3 looks, it's like 2 horseshoes on its side. So great time to enter draws. You might get lucky. Buy a lotto ticket if the urge hits you. If you've been thinking of writing a book, the 3 also rules communication. So if you're thinking of a book or starting a blog, also a wonderful time. If you're entering a 4-year, this is the year it's about taking care of business and getting things done. A 4 will always teach you about procrastination. So if there's some things that you've been maybe, not taking care of like you should have, the universe has a way of making them sort of bigger and uglier until you deal with them. No one wants that. So make sure that you are taking care of things. Don't procrastinate, and prepare that solid foundation to build upon for the next 5 years. This is really about putting things in place, organizing, following the rules. If you break the rules, if you speed, anything, this is the year you get a ticket. You won't get away with it. You've got to take care of business and follow things through. Also, if you have a political aspiration of any kind, 4 rules politics. So you might want to, see what that brings. 5-year is all about change. People hit their 5-year and they want a new car and a new house and a new wife, a new girlfriend, whatever it is, and they want everything to change. You might have kind of experienced that little bit of an itch by then. So make sure that, when the universe puts it in front of you, that you're really taking advantage of opportunity. But 5-year, things change. It also can bring drama and chaos. So if you're not interested in, having things blow up and get busy and get dramatic, just be sure to try and avoid it. The energy's there that will really suck you in. It can also be really gossipy. So if there's big changes you want to make, now is the time. You're in your 5-year. It's exciting. A lot of people move to a new city or country in a 5-year. Anything can happen, so just pay attention. It wants you to be adventurous, so make sure you get out there. It's always better to channel energy into, mountain climbing or surfing or whatever hobby or activity you can find. But it'll help you avoid the gossip and the drama. You're going into a 6-year. It's all about family, it's all about love, it's all about responsibility and relationships. It's also a good time to re-educate yourself. So, I know when I was in my last 6-year, I got married. I also had my wonderful dog pass away. So you get good and bad with every year. There's always a high and low side, but a 6-year will teach you about responsibility. And if there's any courses you wanted to take or anything that you want to feel like you want to improve your education on, a 6-year is the energy that you can use to really promote that, get it done. 6 rules love. So nurture your relationships, make sure you're being responsible. Lots of things come up with family. A lot of times in a 6-year you'll end up taking care of an elderly family member or parent. A lot of people have a baby. Anything can happen. So 6 rules: your house, your family, friends that are like family, your pets. What else? Maybe inheritance. Sometimes that will play. So just pay attention to what's going on. Make sure you're taking care of things and that you're being responsible, especially with your finances. 7-year. This is the year where you might feel like being a bit of a reclusive. You might not want to go out very much. 7 years is a time to really take a look inward, really find out what's going on with you. Try and spend time in nature or around water. And if you can, even get a Himalayan salt lamp. All those things give off negative ions, and it's why you have good ideas in the shower. But it's really about nurturing yourself. 7 also rules legal matters. So if you've had anything going on in regards to lawyers or the court system, 7-year is where it's going to come to a head. It's going to get involved and hopefully resolve itself. It's also the time to become an expert on something. So if you're thinking, wow, I'd be really good at that, or, maybe that's something that's piqued my interest before, it's a great time to read and just learn everything you can about it. If you're in an 8-year, it's all about finance. So there's many case studies where people have both won the lottery and gone bankrupt in an 8-year. If your finances have been looking kind of ugly, this is the year where something's going to give. So pay attention to that. It also rules power and ego. An 8-year is where karma finds balance. If you think about how an 8-year goes around and round and round, be careful not to chase your tail. You don't want that. So pay attention. Make sure you're dealing with authority figures productively. They can play a role as well. If you think of this last year, 2015, that we were in, that was a universal 8-year. And so when I say the rise and fall of ego, we saw things happen with public figures like Brian Williams and the Bill Cosby thing. That just kept giving and giving. So it was somewhere where karma found balance, where companies were brought to the table, and for the first time in a very long time, we saw people get huge fines. GM had a lot. There was some food recalls where they were hugely fined. The whole airbag thing kept going on. So if you follow the news at all, you'll see that finance played a big role. Gas prices were low for the first time in a very long time. So all anyone talked about was the price of oil. So pay attention always to what's going on universally. Everybody will feel that drumbeat to a certain extent, and it will affect your relationships, especially in your career. But in an 8-year, it's where karma's going to find balance. So just make sure you're paying attention to your finances. Sometimes there's huge rewards in an 8-year. Like I said, you can win the lottery, but you could also go bankrupt. But usually something big comes in. So pay attention. Be careful not to chase your tail. You don't want to learn the hard way. If you're in a 9-year, you have a 9 attitude number. We're also in a 9 universal year. This is a time of endings. It's about wrapping everything up. It's like putting a nice pretty bow on whatever it is you've been working with. So make sure you're tying up loose ends, taking care of business. A lot of times there's a very close relationship that will fall apart. You may have been friends with someone for 20 plus years, and all of a sudden, it's over. It's done. So again, let go gracefully. Know that it's time. If you're being urged to let go of it, you want to just do it with grace and dignity. Again, it's also a time of generosity and humanitarianism. So random acts of kindness are just such a wonderful thing to do, especially when you're in a 9-year. You really want to make sure that you're sort of wrapping things up and start thinking about what you want to bring into your 1 year and set your goals for the year following. I always encourage people in a 9-year to really let go and get rid of things. The energy is sort of like a full moon. It really helps you release. So if you've been hanging on to any resentment, anything that's been burdening you, it's time to let go, really work on that. And so important to make room for new blessings to come in. If you don't make room for anything new, you get more of what you've already got. So you want to look at what you can get rid of. And the other thing that happens in a 9-year, if you're cleaning out closets or your basement or any kind of clutter you've got going on, usually what you give away in a 9-year, usually you don't regret it. You know, sometimes you clean things up and you think, oh, I wish I had that, I wish I'd still use that. If you do it in a 9-year, it's really easy to let go and you don't tend to regret it or be resentful about it. So that's a snapshot of what you can expect in your year. I'll be doing monthly forecasts for you, so those will really get a little more detailed. But again, I encourage you to just sort of look at what energy you're bringing in your personal year so you can start planning. And it's remarkably accurate. So just pay attention, see what happens. If you have any questions or comments, please like, share, subscribe. And again, I'll be posting every month to bring you the energy that you're going to be dealing with throughout the year. Have a beautiful 2016, and I wish you a magical holiday season, whatever you're celebrating, and I hope to see you soon.